And it is day 23 of the lori-vallow-Daybell trial, and it got underway this morning with an FBI agent on the stand. Vallow is the Eastern Idaho mom charged with murder conspiracy to commit murder and grand thefts in the deaths of her two children, JJ and Tylee, and her husband's late wife, Tylee Daybell. The woman you normally see anchoring the show right here, Shira Matsuzawa, has been tracking this case from the very beginning. So Shira, I know it was another big day in court. Walk us through what happened.
Well, Carolyn, court ended early for the day today, but it began with FBI agent Douglas Hart on the stand and both sides questioning his exposure to the proceedings of the courtroom. And we should note Hart is no longer with the FBI. He's now the chief deputy with the Canyon County Sheriff's Department. But in regards to this case, he was a special agent on it until September of 2022. And so that's how he was addressed during today's proceedings. The defense was concerned that he had listened to trial testimony of the witnesses, but after questioning him, the judge decided there had not been any violations and therefore allowed him to testify today. His testimony began with him explaining his training and qualifications, which included training in clandestine graves. When asked what that is, he responded, "It's when someone has buried a body where they don't want it to be found." Hart was part of the investigation from the beginning. He was on Chad-Daybell's property the day the kids' remains were found. He said, when you look for a grave, you look for differences in the soil, and he noticed differences in the vegetation and the soil that surrounded the burial site of JJ. He helped exhume JJ's grave and body and found Tylee's remains. Today, Hart also talked about looking at Lori Vallow's iCloud account and her text messages. He spent more than 200 hours going over that data and read 4,500 text messages. Hart says after Chad and Lori's affair, there were communications between the two discussing the deaths of Charles, Tammy, Tylee, and JJ. Charles was Lori's then husband. Her brother, Alex Cox, shot and killed Charles in July of 2019. Alex claimed it was in self-defense at the time. In court today, Hart testified there was communications about Charles's life insurance policies and Social Security payments. And the jury also heard and saw more text messages exchanged between Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, as well as Lori and her brother, Alex Cox, and Lori's niece, Melanie. And coming up at 4:30, I'll break down some of those text messages. But Carolyn, I also spoke with the grandpa of JJ, Larry Woodcock, and I'll share that tonight on the news at 6.
Still in court, has been in court, hasn't he?
Yeah.
All
every
right.
day.
Thank you, Shira, for that. For updates throughout this trial, you can visit this story on our website at ktvb.com. And also, for more in-depth coverage from court, why don't you scan that QR code on your screen right now? Move on up and scan that with your phone. That's a link to all of our coverage of the trial. And then Shira will be back with more information from the grandfather as well.